This is Beneath the Surface, and today we have a very special guest, and Sasha. So, do you think Sasa or Sasha?
Sasha. So when you spell it, it's S-A-S-A, but a second S has got a little check mark on it, which makes it S-H.
So my wife, we call him Sasha. Oh, no, I call him Sasha, and she does too, but she spelled his name Sasa, and I was like, well, his name's Sasa, not Sasha. So anyway.
Well, we saw her. My daughter goes to Cumberland Trade School, so whenever 2 weeks ago, I believe, with Project Pride and a flag project with Johnny Webb, my daughter was part of that also.
Really?
And she was holding in the ribbon and ribbon cutting and everything else. So it was a special moment too.
So Johnny Webb used to be the mayor of Bowling Green and owned a parent teacher store way back in the day, which was a great concept at the time. Very dynamic individual, got some funds and some grants.
By the way, that was my first job. I used to work in parent teacher store.
Are you
right
serious?
After I graduated from Bowling Green High School?
Small world.
Oh yeah, that was
the teachers loved that place. They went crazy about it.
And also they had that little storefront over there in front of Walmart. I think
that's true.
The store was there for some time and everything else.
So when you go to the intersection and you see Bowling Green, Kentucky, home of the medical center, and you got all the flags going up and the little horses out front, Johnny Webb is a big force, and his daughter is involved as well.
Yep.
So I thank him, and I couldn't believe the look on his face one day. I just stopped me. I said, I just want to tell you thank you. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but I want to tell you thank you for what you've done, because it's fantastic. We have this black fence running down the highway, and I wanted to do that because I read an editorial in the newspaper, and they're like, oh, how much wildlife did you disturb because you knocked down that grass to put that fence up? And I'm like, well, come on, are you kidding me? It looks great. So
that thing definitely makes a Bowling Green look better.
Yes.
And when people are, I think, passing through and everything else, especially Highway 65, it's amazing.
So what's your last name? Sasha
Mandrapa. Mandrapa.
So, and somebody asked me earlier, and I said, I don't know. I said, I think Yugoslavia. Is that where's your
ex-Yugoslavia?
Okay.
So, little war over there going on back in the day, and now Bosnia-Herzegovina, and I'm from Herzegovina part, which is all the way down south,
right
on the border with Croatia.
Right.
And my wife, she's from Bosnia, deep 7 hours in.
Right.
And when we go over there, visit my family, my mom and dad and my brother and his family still live over there. And when we go over there, try to go every once a year.
Right.
And then we go around all the way to.
And they still live in Yugoslavia? Or
they still live in Bosnia Herzegovina.
It's not called Yugoslavia.
No more. There's no more Yugoslavia. Just Bosnia Herzegovina now.
So my best friend growing up, his mother was Yugoslavian, and then she was the first Yugoslavian woman I ever met. So that's why I say that, not out of disrespect in any way, but her favorite thing, come in, let me hit you. Every time we would mess up. But great woman, love her dearly.
Let me hit you with what? Papucha?
Yeah.
We use that in our house.
And so I would always aggravate her. I didn't even know what I was saying to this woman, but I always say, now, are you from Croatia? And she did not like that. So if they don't like, they're like two different countries or something. And so
more than that now, but it's all good.
Okay.
Thankfully, everything is over, and it's a great country to visit and opportunity if whoever can get a chance.
Right.
Food is great, scenery is great, and then people are excellent.
Wow. So a lot of culture there, a lot of culture for a Kentucky kid like me growing up, because I didn't have any idea what they were talking about, But this guy right here, you've got 6 restaurants? Do you have
5 restaurants now.
5 restaurants. So if you don't know, we're going to go through them. Toro is one of them. We got the Novo Dolce.
Novo Dolce.
And then the Pub by Novo.
Pub by Novo, Bistro, and Burger and Bowl.
And so, yes.
All 5 different concepts. So
yes.
Sometimes helps and sometimes it's not good.
So show the screen here. What's on your arm right there?
No logo, no nothing. Just
so
I like it.
This guy's also got to a point. I mean, I feel like I knew his grassroots. The first place we were talking about this one day, old Morgantown Road, little bitty coffee shop pops up, and that was you.
Novo Dolce back in the day. Yes, that's where we started.
And I remember there was like 2 tables in there, maybe 4. It was a really crowded little restaurant.
And orange walls.
But
ugly
like
orange walls.
On Morgantown Road, I was going to a different country. I was getting some culture. So I went down there, and I felt like I was in Atlanta or something, because there was something a little bit different.
I like that.
So, but he's hosted me and 10, 20 of my friends sometimes, but Great experience, great food, gets outside of the box. You've got a lot of talented people I feel like working for you, and he likes to get them out of their box, so we challenge them a little bit. So
That's the whole point. I mean, in the restaurant business, cooking is the easy part for me. It's training and developing people that want to do that. So I'm very blessed and fortunate enough to have excellent people around me for a long time now.
So that's true. 5 restaurants. I'm going to tell you, back in the day, I was told in this town that there's more restaurants per square mile in Bowling Green, Kentucky than there is per capita in Las Vegas, Nevada. So for somebody to come in here and just succeed on this scale at this level is a lot of perseverance or a lot of insanity or maybe a little bit of both. But what's the secret? Did you not know that, or did you kind of feel like that, or do you like, I've got something different? What's your secret to success?
Love and passion in what you do, and beauty of our community, especially Warren County and Bowling Green. I think being part of that since came to United States to Bowling Green in 1996.
Right.
Went to school over here, graduated in Bowling Green High School, went to Western Kentucky University also.
Yeah.
And then we moved away a little bit, lived in St. Louis for a few years, came back, and restaurant opportunity came up for the Bistro on Russellville Road. Back then we opened in January 2007, I believe we opened on Russellville Road.
Right.
And then been there for a couple of years, and then we moved to current location where we are downtown right now.
So not picking on the location, but Morgantown Road is not exactly the place to put a restaurant, and neither is, in my book at that time, was Russellville Road. So that
friend of mine, couple of them, I'm not going to say any names, but they say, what's Novo Dolce stands for? Bad location. So shout out to the bad location in Novo Dolce, but we started over there, had to start somewhere with a limited budget and idea, and to see how well we got accepted in Bowling Green, and then opportunity came to current location on Bypass where we are now. It's right. Amazing.
It is.
And the rest of it is.
So a real, maybe not rags to riches, but rags to riches, probably started on a shoestring, maybe not as big a budget as you wanted to, but made it work and just pounding the pavement every day. And so here we are, and 5 restaurants. So in a very, so we have a college scene, we have a younger scene, and then I guess you have these old folks like me that are running around that like to eat, so you got all these different microclimate, microcultures. So
that's why I think each concept that we did is Bistro was the first one that started, and then everything that Bistro or more I wanted, it was Novo was next, and then from Novo clientele and everything that what kind of food we did at Novo. Then we open a pub, and that's what a pub is, and then it's just vice versa. And then the latest one is Toro, and that's a Spanish fusion, something that I would like to eat. And then each restaurant's got its own shine with the special menu ingredients and also the daily specials that we do. So when I try to go eat somewhere, this is a food that I like and I would like to experience.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Right. And that is what it is. So, and they are different. And so they're outside the box, I feel like, all of them. And we enjoy all of them. So your Toro, they specialize in like the Spanish tapas style.
The front page menu is a Spanish tapas, small plates and salads. And then back page is entrees.
Right.
And then on Saturdays and Sundays also we do brunch. So
good brunch.
My version of brunch, and then tequila bar and fresh squeezed margaritas and Bloody Marys and all that stuff also. So
we went there with a group of 10, worked the same. So it doesn't have to be a small group. The Bistro, they got a private room there. If you ever may be interested in that, call.
Oh, we did a chef's table over there.
Right. And it was fantastic. Called Sasha on the phone, and I can't remember what happened. We met with it and we picked like 1 or 2 menus, and then something came back and I was like, we're messing up, Mary. I was like, we picked all this heavy food and we're going to be asleep. Oh, we were going to do like French food. We were going to challenge him. So I said, you know what, let's do a farm to table. And he was like, who came up with this idea? I said, Peach Blossom. And he served us a Peach Blossom. We also had these peach mojitos that were outstanding. Today, we still talk about those peach mojitos. The whole dinner club that we have still talks about those peach mojitos. They were fantastic. So this guy, we're foodies too, right? And we've eaten a lot of different food, a lot of different places. He blew our doors off. So that created this, started to get to know each other. And so that's what brought us here today, is just doing that. So when he's very giving in the community. So not only does he have 5 restaurants and a busy guy, but we just came back from the Handbags for Hope, and one of the big packages there was what was it? 20 people, feed 20 people, fly an airplane, get this handbag, and so Sasha, they're out there, bing, ding, ding. You know, these women, they got. I've never seen a fundraiser as successful as this one. This is a great fundraiser. Well, Sasha doubled it. He offered 2 packages, not just one. So, thank you. That helps
Raising
them.
money and helping community. That's that because I could not be here without local community and blessed with what we have over here in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
So then we saw him at what was the last fundraiser we had? Where Todd Alcott, and we like bidding on his packages because he might give us a little bit of flexibility on what we're wanting to do. We might want to add 1 or 2 people, and we don't mind paying the extra, and he fixes us up. So. I don't know that this is 100% true, but we just redid our dining room and added more seats to our dining table because I can see one of these guys peeps coming to my house and entertaining our friend, and so he's willing to do stuff like that too. So,
and that's the beauty of it. I mean, for me, with the special menu or chef's table thing, when we thinking outside the box instead of just a regular menu or dinner club at somebody's house also, and having fun inside or outside, cooking with a lot of fire and stuff like that. That's the idea of
and that's what we're talking about.
having fun with everything that we do and I like to do, and definitely my team. So I cannot do this without myself, and I know with the team that we take on special caterings like this, we shine like that.
Yes, and I definitely can see that. Sometimes I wear hearing aids. You know, restaurants are extremely loud to me, and so sometimes that's not what I'm looking for. Sometimes I want something more laid down, more private. And some of the people that we hang out with, they like that too. They're in the public eye like all the time, and so sometimes they don't want to pull back. But one special request that my wife had is that she has a 16-plate setting of her own china. When she got married, she got all this china, right? Nobody uses their china anymore, so we're gonna do that. So
who's doing the dishes?
Yeah,
I'm not doing the dishes.
We just redid. So I was like, she's like, can we take these dishes and like let Sasha? I was like, Dave, we're not taking these dishes anywhere, and he's not gonna want to deal with your dishes. They just
definitely like we can stop by their house and then do something like that. That's nonchalant and coming up with a different menu, different ingredients, and definitely using those dishes that you use maybe once every how many years?
Yeah, never.
Never.
This will be the second time they've been used, you know. So anyway, so I want to do that for my wife.
We can dust them off first too.
No, there ain't no dust in my house. I can promise you that. But we had Sky Pack, a violinist, play one time at an event we went through because that was for the Elm Street Society. So anyway, we get a lot of exposure. And Sasha, he's in that group. I don't know. It seems like not that these people aren't welcoming. It's just getting exposure to these people. But I felt like I was an outsider, and I only know them because of Mary. But you've managed to kind of like get in the ranks with these people because of your food and because of your love. That this is the love language, I think, for him. But
that's the beauty of restaurant experience is meeting certain individuals and certain people from all over the country and the world too. So,
right.
Living in Bowling Green so long and working a couple of different restaurants and owning the restaurants and meeting the people that you met. I remember the day when I was working in Franklin, one of the restaurants, and this was 18 years ago, and the group that I met over there still comes to all of the restaurants locally, and we still on the first name basis and everything else. So that's how the experience starts, and that's how relationship starts.
So how do you get the same culture happening at 5 different places with 5 different agendas and 5 different menus? I mean,
generating the energy, and that's what it's about. Our job is hard as is. So my idea is I cannot let my teammates go through negativity. So give everything possible they can give for the best experience they can have.
Right.
Because I mean, dealing with the people, it's hard to do. So you will get what you give, and generating that positive energy and positive attitude, and you will get that back.
Right.
So, and of course, I mean, picking the right people, hiring the right people, that is the key also.
Which is hard to do in today's marketplace.
Especially after the COVID. I mean, after COVID, it was really hard with working force. And then we went through that phase, and now I can't complain whatsoever.
Wow.
Can't complain whatsoever.
So what does Sasha do? He's a traveler, I hear. He went on a men's trip recently, and he goes...
Well, every year we pick. It's like taking a picado and hit the map and see where it ends up. So luckily this year, went to Australia, Sydney, and then been there for a couple of days and rented a car, drove coastal beach to Melbourne,
Wow.
and then from Melbourne, a couple of days we went to West Coast, Perth on the West Coast. We have some friends over there, stayed over there, went back to Sydney, and that was it. Year before that was South America, uh, Montevideo, Uruguay, and then we went to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and all around.
Wow. So
Cape Town, South Africa before that, and we're still debating what the next one is going to be next year in February. So
wow, Iceland.
we try to go summertime where there's a summer so we can see some beach and water.
Yeah.
So,
Instead
and
of
it's
snow.
definitely experience the food and culture and meet the different people. So that's what feeds me and grounds me a certain way when you see how people live around the world. And when we come back home, it's like home is home, and then you blessed with everything that we have and
That's
certain
right.
things you want to take for granted.
So I'm from Kentucky a long time, my whole world, and I didn't realize that your culture extends past Warren County, and then I moved to San Diego, and then you start traveling the world, and you start going different places, and so like when we met, I remember looking at, I said, what would, if I said the word Japanese pancake, what could that mean to you, and that shows. So he's on these trips. He can't help it. Probably he wants to see what are they serving, what's on the menu, how does this work, what's making.
That's the beauty of the traveling. It's a different culture, different food, and what we can adapt over here. Still with the menu items and in certain ingredients and a special, we have to adapt to demographics that we have around here. So
Right.
just because I like it or works in a different country doesn't mean it's going to work over here.
That's right.
So
you like pounding this food cost thing in your brain, which is part of it. I get it. Or what trumps everything? Is it like probably the experience and the culture? What's paramount maybe on that list of got to have this, it's got to hit this. Here's the check mark, check the box.
we talking about a business restaurant?
Yeah, like if a menu item makes it to your menu, and we're gonna bring in something new. What's gonna check?
I mean, food cost is very important. So people don't understand. Some do, some don't. It's a formula. So if the food cost is not where it needs to be, certain bills will not get paid.
Right.
And also, when we're looking at food cost and menu analysis, what sells, what doesn't sell, and inventory also, it's very important. So everything that we get in depends how long we sit on it to get our return on our investment.
Right.
Sometimes less is more. So certain restaurants have a certain smaller footprint on the menu.
Right.
And then my dream restaurant is no menu. You come in, this is the 5 things, 6 things that we're going to do today. We rent out. Tomorrow is going to be a different thing.
That's pretty neat, what he's talking about. And I can picture this place. So I've noticed that Mary, my wife, she gets exposed to dishes because I'm just like that. I'm going to come home and you can't tell me what you want for dinner. I'm either in the mood to cook it or I'm not in the mood to cook it. And so sometimes I'm craving it, and you know what? She never complains. She's always like, "This is so good." It might take longer. It might be a little later than normal, but I just get in there and I get in that groove, and that's my thing. And it's like maybe ironing or doing laundry. I don't do those things. I cook. That's what I do. So
it was funny when you said Japanese pancake, and for me, 2 weeks ago, I showed one of my chefs over there. This is for brunch, Saturday brunch in Novo. We did a version of Korean style with the kimchi and the green onions and
Yes.
calamari and the shrimp
yes.
pancake. And he goes, "How do you come up with it?" I'm like, "I did not come up with it. This is a dish in a certain country. It's been there for a long time."
Right.
So idea is take something like that and adapt it to here and to have something for people that are foodies that they can try it out without going to some of these bigger cities. People think that you have to go to bigger city, Nashville or something like that to try certain types of food. I think we are good over here. There's a few, there's a lot of good restaurants in Bowling Green.
So I was known as a picky eater. I guess my mom would tell you
Really?
to stay.
Don't look like it.
He's right. I'm not picky anymore. So I had a Korean lady fix me bulgogi.
Bulgogi bowl.
I didn't even know it was bulgogi, and she did a fillet of salmon,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even like rice, but this woman fixed sticky rice, and so then she had crab legs with it. And so she made these little portions in these Ziploc bags and she froze them and she sent them with me. And I flew home on the airplane. And, this Korean woman has this dialect and she got the soy sauce. And man, it all went together so well. And I'm like, what is this dish? How do I cook it? So I told them this is AOL days, if you can imagine back then.
Oh, dial up.
I had to find, dial up. So I was trying to find a dish and I didn't even know what the name of it was. And finally I figured out that it was bulgogi because I couldn't understand what this woman is saying. But anyway, that started my whole food trek and being serious, like on a foodie. And so
my wife works in Franklin. She's a chiropractor, so she's been there for 15 years. But she comes home sometimes there's a lady that makes her own kimchi.
yes,
And so we have jars of kimchi in the house every few months. And then there's a family that brings the eggs too. So we have a domestic organic free range eggs and everything else. So the food scene over here, and then also we blessed with farming markets over here too, because I think there's a lot of excellent produce over here. And what do you go for? Do you go to farmers market?
No, we don't.
So we got 3.
Right.
So we got one on Scottsville Road, right across the street from Toro. We have one downtown, and we got one on National Road over there.
So if I was going to buy produce, like there's a lot of farmers market. The Mennonites here from Hopkinsville and those areas, like Fairview.
Yep.
Man, those guys. I mean, it's not. I've got 15 acres. I don't grow nothing because it's not worth my time. Those guys will outgrow you. They will outwork you. Good looking fruit. So that's where I would probably go. Meyer, the supermarket from
Grant Farm is over here down the road. Grant.
Oh yes, Grant. I forgot about him. So he's a good buddy.
We get a lot of stuff from him also, all of our restaurants, and then in the season or out of season and stuff like that.
So he's growing the peaches and cream corn. So if you ever run into they're 2 brothers, and I can't remember which one's which, but just ask him how he got that bulldozer from my property to his property, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Just ask him how he got that D9 bulldozer over here to his property. So
I love it.
And see what he tells you. But yes, so Korean, the root vegetables, they would bury this stuff in a jar and they let it ferment, right? And so, most people in Kentucky, in my eyes, they were like chicken fingers and steak, and that's it, baked potatoes, same old, everything. So to eat something like that, but radish kimchi, I love it. A kimchi grilled cheese sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these makes my mouth water talking about this bulgogi. And there's certain twists that you see in a recipe. So do you try to stay like more authentic? Like I've seen recipes that have kiwi. Well, kiwi doesn't grow in Korea. That's not a Korean vegetable.
I like to do is, so when we work with farmers, local farmers and everything else, whatever is the season. So when the greens are in season and kale and leaves and all the other stuff, I call it Warren County kimchi.
Yeah.
So I take the greens, our local greens, and then season it the same way as the kimchi and ferment it and let it go. So the idea is of utilizing that instead of Napa cabbage or regular cabbage. I mean, Europeans, they have a sauerkraut. Koreans have kimchi. And then
but like Napa cabbage and like the vegetables, and like sometimes I was like, I must be Japanese because I'll eat almost anything that's Asian because they don't tend to overcook the vegetables like
right.
Americans do. So.
It's about, for especially Japanese, it's about texture. So if you take a beef tongue, Japanese like the texture. So their beef tongue, when they prepare it, it's a lot chewier than when other parts of the world, they cook it a little bit longer and taste like roast beef, soft and everything else.
Yeah.
So.
But you're right. Like they'll dehydrate like mushrooms and like little octopus and stuff like that. And so, but I also thought the Korean, they don't put too much sugar in their dishes. There's just enough sugar to keep you interested, but it's nothing like Americans. Americans, they like dump the cream, dump the sugar, you'd be a diabetic if you eat that every day, but Koreans don't do that.
Barbecue sauce, baby.
What's your favorite food? Off the record.
You would be surprised. I mean, when I come home, what do we cook and everything else? It's simple stuff.
Yeah.
We do a lot of,
I believe that,
simple stuff. I mean, my daughter, she's a cook too, and started at a very young age. But we call it a little bit this, a little bit that.
Right.
And she goes, you know how we do it, Dad. A little
Yeah.
bit this, a little bit that. So
Yeah.
we like the little feast of a few different dishes,
Yeah.
more different dishes than in one large dish.
Yeah.
And that way, that's the
Everybody
way
gets
how to enjoy it with the food, I think.
Yeah, I like that. So,
But my son, he's a little bit picky now, so he likes cheese on burger, but he don't like cheese on a sandwich. I mean, what's the difference?
right.
But it is what it is.
Right. It's, to each their own, I guess, and outgrow that, be a little bit different. So, 5 restaurants. You're involved in the community. You got? You're a traveler, so you get some exposure to different cultures, different cuisines. So you're a father. You got how many?
2 kids.
kids.
First one is Mona,
Uh-huh.
and second one is Alex. Mona plays volleyball. She's a captain in her volleyball team, last one, and
Oh,
Alex is in soccer and basketball right now,
really?
and likes to argue a lot.
Wow. Wonderful wife.
Other
I
than
met
a
her.
picky eater.
So
Wonderful wife. Also, she's a rock behind everything that we do. Without her, most of this stuff could not happen. So,
So-
you know how important it is to have a strong woman behind your back when you come home,
That's exactly right.
especially
Patient.
when you're stressed and everything else.
Yeah, patient. Yeah, you have a good day at work, you're good. Bad day at work, you're bad. So, and you try not to bring it home, but sometimes you can't help it. So, business is good, you're good. Business is bad, you're bad. So if I said the phrase "beyond my wildest expectations," are you there yet, or you still got a long way to go?
I get bored very easily, and sometimes I always ask myself, "Idiot, why you do this?"
Yeah.
But I don't play golf. I go fishing when it's a nice weather or warm. Not warm too much. I don't like warming.
Yeah.
I can stay on the couch at home just long enough, and after that, I get bored. So I got to get out.
Yeah.
With the right opportunities and everything else, I'm going to go till I cannot go no more, walk no more, and stuff
We
like
talked
that.
about that. I told these guys asked me. They asked me what I do for a hobby. I'm like, I work. I mean, I don't have a membership at a Indian Hills Golf, and I have never played golf there. So it's been over a year. So this is what we do. And I tell Mary sometimes I come home, I'm like, why do we do what we do? I mean, these guys have no idea what we put on the line to create these jobs. And we're not tooting our own horn because we wouldn't do this. We're either naive enough or crazy enough to think that we can do it. And
They say restaurant business is one of the most riskiest businesses you can put a money or invest money in, but there's nothing like it. The not money payout, but satisfaction payout for me is you cannot pay for that.
right.
So when you see people that appreciate food, and like the ambiance and drinks, because think about it, they work a whole week, or maybe not everybody's fortunate enough to have enough money. Sometimes they save for a whole week just to go out on that Friday or Saturday
Right.
and come to, let's say, one of the restaurants and like they could pick their own server, which is their favorite, or their bartender and chit chat and everything else. So that's not a lot of people can do that.
So we went to a restaurant the other day. 2 people ate 2 sandwiches, no chips, no drink, and it was $23. So my wife doesn't like it when I fuss about value, but I did. I said, we're 5 minutes from the home. I'll go home. We'll fix sandwiches, and we save our $23. And we're not really penny pinchers. We don't mind. It was just a convenience thing. And I sat at drive-through for 14 minutes, I think, to get my sandwich.
Mhm.
Okay. It was good, by the way, when I finally got it. But then you go to Wendy's or something, not picking on Wendy's, love Wendy's, my favorite hamburger joint. But, 2 people eat there, $28. I gave a guy $30, he comes back. I still owe him $1.25. because So this guy, 2 people can go sit down at his restaurant. You can get 2 entrees, $15, $16, and eat like almost maybe $18, maybe 22, and get a couple of drinks. And so you're still probably south of $50 before tip, right? So
It's each restaurant is different and value for the money. So that's what I'm also preaching. There's a good time, there's a bad time. So if you have $20, you're going to look at the $20 and you're going to see, okay, where do I get best value for the money, best experience and atmosphere, and best service, and walk out? Because you're going to spend that $20 somewhere, right? And you're going to pick and choose the right one.
Right.
Because 3 of those things, 4 of those things.
Right. So it's Mary and I in the house now. We're not feeding children. I buy a lot of groceries. We waste a lot of food. You got to figure in food costs at your house, right? And you got to eat some meals at home. We get it. But to me, what you do is so worth it. And I'm to that point now, it's almost not worth my hour and a half, 2 hours when I've been up on a 14-hour day, even though I like to cook and I like to sit at my kitchen table and have a dinner with my wife so I can actually talk to her for a change. So, uh, but to do that, and then you go to this restaurant and then you got these food delivery services, they're bringing that to you, and then everybody wants a tip. I'm like, well, what did you do? Did you bring my food to the table? And I'm sitting here thinking, so by the time I add all that up, I'm going to eat at your restaurant. I just am. And
So delivery, that's the conveniency because
Right.
you're paying for conveniency, right?
Right.
You're on a couch or you're tired,
right,
and then that's extra 20%.
right,
And then on top of that, we have to pay 20% also
right,
for the delivery because we don't have we did the numbers to do our own delivery service or not. It was not worth it
right,
because of the insurance and all the issues and everything else.
right,
So when you say exactly, so instead of you going home, you gotta go to store first, buy the ingredients, cook it, then you gotta clean, and then if you have a leftovers, you're gonna throw it away, or unless you're really good, you know how to use it or spread it out the right way,
Right.
separate it, and make instead of one meal, you can make 2 meals or 3 meals if you know what you're doing.
right,
So for some people that don't know how to do that, you go out, you pay $20, and you're good to go,
right,
and that's it.
right,
And you go straight on home and watch your favorite show.
right.
So
and it's
and beauty of it is with its new technologies and especially the AI and everything else that's going on, people are not learning how to cook, and it's a job safety for us, I think.
right.
So people will always go out to drink and eat and have a good time, especially after a hard working day.
Right. So you hear the Japanese, they play hard, but they work hard and they play hard, So, but you're right. I think I value them. I value one-on-one quality time with my wife, which I cannot do when I'm in the kitchen, because she's not going to help. So I cook the food she cleaned up. If she didn't do that, I would never cook because I'm the messiest cook you ever
She
saw
can
in your
hang.
life.
She can hang out with you over there while you just
know.
watch,
And she does. She
supervise.
does. Yeah.
Let her
That's what
supervise.
she does. I'll be like, "Where's that spatula?" She's
Actually,
already got it in
Mary
the
was
dishwasher.
also when they were doing the ribbon cutting for the flag over there in the Cumberland Trace. She was there too, so I saw her also. So that's a great thing.
Yes, she's very, very active in the community, and she's Sasa's captured Mary's heart, which is hard to do. So how I ever did it, don't ask me. I'm nothing special, but so very fond of,
I love that family a lot.
yeah.
So
And they're fond of
from
you, and
everybody,
we're fond of you. I met his wife, and I said, I don't know yet. And Sasha said, he said, well, we're getting there. So his family's my family. We're becoming friends and family. So we'll see what this takes us. But we definitely support you and what you're doing, and thank you.
Thank you very
So
much.
the price that you guys pay to do, I just can't imagine. The sacrifice. So
Sacrifice is the right word because to do this and be away from the family, because our hours in our industry are totally different from regular 8 to 5, and then the holidays. Most of the holidays we work when everybody else is off, but we play on Monday and Tuesday.
right.
That's our weekend. So
And that's okay for a while, but sometimes it gets old because nobody else is playing on those days. They're over there being lazy watching that TV show. Ordering Netflix or ordering DoorDash.
Yep.
So, what percentage is your businesses to go order? What percentage? And I know it varies at different.
Each one is different. Each one is very different. I mean, I cannot even say the numbers, but certain food does not travel good. So, and then again, you don't want to order it to go unless,
Right.
I mean, especially let's talk about fries. Fries, if you to go, and then it depends how far you live or how long a delivery is, they will not be it unless you have a air fryer at home and you can pop it in there.
Yeah, I got a stove. Yeah, I do, but some air fryers work better than others. We'll put it that way. My oven claims to be an air fryer too, but it's not. But I got a Ninja back here, and it's pretty bad. So I'm going to tell you my perception of his restaurants and what I like. So the burger, what's a burger bowl? Bowl and burger?
Burger and bowl.
Burger and bowl. So they have a fantastic black bean burger. They have a fantastic Impossible burger. So those are two plant-based methods. Is that right?
Yep.
Of course, the fries are good with all of them. Sweet potato fries, especially if you're a fan of those. But they have a really mean chicken sandwich, and that totally surprised me. It's everybody's got the chicken sandwich fight. Well, these guys here, it's a pretty good chicken sandwich there at your restaurant.
We don't brag about it like Popeyes and Chick-fil-A do, but people that come over there and try, they say, "Where's this been all my life?" So
I know. I was shocked.
And that came as a fun project also, and I decided let's do it this way.
It's always busy, always packed. I would have never guessed that that restaurant had been as successful as it is. I can call here right now, go to the drive-through. They'll open that window. They're going to hand me my order, and I'm headed to the house, which is way faster than DoorDash, by the way. So, Novo Dolce, is that the club I know? Which one's over here off of Leachman?
Novo Dolce.
Novo Dolce.
Novo Dolce is the first one, and then pub after that was the second one that we opened on Scottsville Road.
Half price wine on Monday nights. Who else does that? Anyway, this guy does. It stays flat busy, flat packed. He's got a loyal following there. They have an incredible old fashioned. If you're a fan of old fashioned, that's one of the best ones in Bowling Green. So go get it done. I get it with Woodford. They do it right. So the Bistro. What do we like? Bistro, we just like it just because it's different. They have several different things that they do there and running some specials and stuff. We're usually doing a special if we go to the Bistro. We're usually with a group of friends, so doing that. And what I'm trying to think the top. We haven't eaten as much at Toro, but we have had their brunch. Phenomenal. I love a brunch. I like a good Bloody Mary, all that. So if you've not been to these places to check this stuff out, any other signature items that are just like bam, bam?
Nope, we just like to play with a palette.
Right. So if he offers a package at a fundraiser, buy it. It's worth every single penny. There's only one that I know that came in front of us. We didn't buy it. It went pretty quick like that. But after we did the math, we should have bought that thing. So they just sold it pretty quick. But support this man. He supports local. He gives back. He's after a good cause, and he's paid the sacrifice. So let's reward him and give him growth and stability. And so he can have a family time and keep doing what you're doing. And thank you. So anxious to see what happens in the next period of time and what this guy creates and comes up with next. And hopefully we'll see in that where he's just cooking his own menu one day in his own restaurant. So I would love to see that. So thank you for visiting.
Thank you very much.
Sasha, here beneath the surface, we dug into his world a little bit today, and we're grateful that he joined us, and we'll dig in again with him sometime in the future. And thank you, and we'll see you next time.